You're gonna love this one. There's nothing better than watching Joe Rogan fire back at people who spread lies about him. Whether it's clueless media personalities or so-called experts trying to twist his words, Rogan never lets them off easily. From Joy Behar's ridiculous take to Brian Dunning's failed attempt at discrediting him, we've got some of the best moments where Rogan completely shut down the nonsense, and trust me, it is a glorious sight to see. As always, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this.
They know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have, you know, the legal note here.
The human legal
but
note?
We went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like, I guess, like dinosaur-y type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really, really bad information that's going out.
This was during a segment where The View was discussing how many young Americans get their news from social media influencers, and out of nowhere, Joy Behar took jabs at Joe, trying to frame him as someone ridiculous. But what she was trying to convey is that if you want to get real hard-hitting facts, you should tune into their show or the MSM, not some random guy on the internet who believes in dragons. Her comment clearly didn't sit well with Joe because this was his reaction just a few days later.
I had to read the thing about The View because I just thought it was funny.
What's
That's
the
the only reason why I read that about me.
Dragon lover.
Joy Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just heard about it.
I checked it. And the lady goes, did you double check this? She goes, I checked it. He believes in dragons.
Should be like
you think
Sasquatch,
they lived alongside of
bitch.
people?
Wait,
it was from a wildlife biologist who came on my podcast. It was from Forrest Gallant. Gallant?
And hold any weight? Like
no,
there's actually dragons?
I mean, we know there were large flying lizards during the times of dinosaurs, right? The only weight that it could possibly hold is that like a few of those somehow survived much later than we previously thought.
Jesus.
But do I think that there were dragons attacking human beings and civilizations? No, I don't.
J.D. Vance looks terrible.
It's so much cooler if there were. And like, the fact that we know that pterodactyls did exist, that's cool.
Right.
It would be way cooler as if they existed with people.
Right, 2,000 years ago.
Why is that? But why is that so much cooler to us?
I don't know.
It's like I mean, people would dedicate giant chunks of their life trying to find out if pterodactyls did coexist with human beings.
Oh yeah,
no, I swear, I thought you had pterodactyls on your shirt there, and I was like, yeah, this is the most autistic
that'd be
thing I've
hilarious.
ever seen.
I think that's a
like,
rhino.
Why can't pterodactyls be real?
Kafaru.
Shane Gillis as always nails the comedic timing, but on a more serious note, this is exactly why Joe's opinion carries weight. Instead of going on an endless rant about The View, he actually showed everyone where the claims came from, giving context and playing the full clip. Meanwhile, Joy just went with the trust me bro approach, claiming that she triple-checked everything as if she's telling the audience to stop thinking for themselves and just believe her version of everything she says. It's weak and manipulative and honestly pathetic.
This is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest fucking statement. Like you didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to what the wildlife biologist, and that's only a part of what he said.
I can't believe
the other
Joy
part of what he
Behar
said
didn't
was
wait.
there was something before that where he was explaining encounters with giant reptiles. And then there's
know.
also, listen,
It doesn't make sense to me that a middle-aged woman could be dumb.
when you're worried about losing your job and you're worried about podcasts taking over and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us and he won, and this is fucking great, and Joe Rogan believes in dragons. It's just frantic. It's foolish.
Ari Shaffir probably meant someone born in the actual Middle Ages, not just a middle-aged woman, but on a serious note, Joe's absolutely right. His podcast crushes anything on TV. It's no surprise that politicians like Gavin Newsom and Michelle Obama are now jumping on the podcast bandwagon. They see where the audience is going and they're desperate to keep their ever-diminishing influence. By the way, I've noticed you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet, so what are you waiting for? But nothing comes close to the back and forth Joe had with Brian Dunning, and the way he proved Brian wrong is pure perfection.
On my list of top 10 celebrities who promote harmful pseudoscience. And here's the paragraph that I wrote on you. Number 8, Joe Rogan. Comedian Joe Rogan does what he can to promote virtually any conspiracy theory that he stumbles onto, apparently accepting them all uncritically with a wholesale embrace. Now, I know you would disagree with that now.
Of course I would.
Okay, and I want to give you that chance. So the worst part is that he promotes these ideas to the public at every interview opportunity, but gives himself the intellectual get-out-of-jail-free card of not needing any evidence by hiding behind the childish debate technique of saying, hey, I'm just the guy asking questions.
This episode was over a decade ago, and it's funny how the people who want to discredit Rogan still use this excuse to this very day. The reason people tune into the podcast is simple. Joe doesn't act like a gatekeeper of truth, he doesn't control the flow of info. Instead, he lets guests speak freely and allows the audience to draw their own conclusions. But Brian didn't stop there, as he laid out a reasoning as to why we would stop questioning things.
Well, it's just factually inaccurate on so many different levels. I don't understand why you wrote it like that. Like, there's things that you said that I believe that I don't, that I've never said that I do.
Because many of us, myself included, think that it does more harm than good, because you're suggesting to anyone who might be on the fence, you're suggesting to them that there is a debatable question here. And when you go out and you hold a debate, when you agree to have a debate, you're going to convince anyone who's on the fence, oh, maybe there is a question here that needs to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I think it's arguable that you do more harm than good. And so by the same token, I say that it's really possible when you say, hey, I'm just the guy asking questions about Building 7, or whatever the subject is, that you're potentially doing more harm than good by suggesting that there is a questionable subject here.
The pandemic and everything that followed completely exposed why Brian's way of thinking is frankly nonsense. Blindly trusting authority without questioning anything is how you end up in an Orwellian nightmare. Now, that's not to say every conspiracy theory out there is worth believing, but a healthy dose of skepticism never hurt anyone. In fact, it's necessary. Obviously, Joe wasn't having any of it, and he kept pressing Brian with solid points until he was left speechless.
But to deny that these things exist, I think, is silly, because then you fuel the conspiracy theories even more, because you're denying something that seems obvious to the eye. The average person that looks at that building says, yes, that does look like a controlled demolition. Does that mean it is? No, it doesn't. But to pretend that it doesn't look like that is ridiculous.
Okay.
To pretend that it's not that it falls at free fall speed is...
I'm not sure anyone is denying that it looks like a... The part of it you can see in the video, it does. It looks exactly very much like a controlled demolition.
So you criticize me for what you agree with.
No.
You agree that it looks like a controlled demolition. Discussing it.
No, that's not what I'm criticizing you for. I agree that it looks like a controlled demolition. That's not the question. The question is
whether it should be brought up.
No, well,
it seems like you have topics that are off limits, and that like discuss something like that, even to look at the reality of the speed that it fell, just to even bring it up, is off limits. Even if you say, I don't believe in the conspiracy.
Exactly. The more you try to bury something, the more people start digging. That's how conspiracy theories thrive. Instead of shutting down discussions, the best way to combat bad ideas or false narratives, well, it's by actually addressing them with logic and facts. That's why the whole concept of anti-speech is so important. If an idea is truly ridiculous, well, it should be easy to dismantle with reason. But when people start silencing others, it usually means they don't have a strong argument to begin with. But I'd love to know your thoughts here, so let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below. And if you want your friends to see these epic moments, please share the video with them. It means the world to us. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.